So 365, it's 356. That is interesting. That's the number we want to look for. Because we're looking for the cross, right? And Jesus sacrificed his son on the cross. And you're always wanting to solve for X in mathematics, aren't we? So 356 degrees Fahrenheit is equal to the 180 degrees Celsius. So stick with me. 18 is the age of legal consent, but also known to be a representation of Hitler and hate. Now, on the graph, there would be an x-axis. Now put that graph as the elemental periodic table. And Celsius to Fahrenheit is the ascension from Christ to Father. The sign of maturity, of growing up, of taking consent for your life. And when you see these two things as equal, that is when you step into GM, which would be Grand Master. Because, right, we're talking about be a king, right? Baking goods. Of course, back in the day, in linguistics, OVO, right, refers to a type of language structure where objects precede the verb in a sentence, as explained by Collins Dictionary, compared to VO language. Voiceover, probably, huh? No, VO would be verb object. And let's talk about the suffix en, since we've been through NE. En is a unit of measurement equal to half an em, and approximately the average width of the typeset character, used especially in estimating. Oh, you mean an EST word, like establish. And here we go into this, dense and weight holding words that we cast upon people after spelling, that sword that we pull from the stone as the own king and Arthur in our scepter. En represents within or inside. En to the second, formal adjective, made or consisting of. We ain't even got to address how crazy it sounds. Do I got to say that it matters? That it all starts with atoms? En also means to provide with or empower. So putting them on the end of a lot of words or before, I don't think people understand the power of words. Ion, like I said, transition, admission, addiction, tradition, ambition. I could go all day, even to litigation. We're talking about all these powerful, powerful words that are significant when it comes to authority. Ion is an atom or a molecule with a net electric charge due to the loss or gain of one or more electron. So everybody keep your eye on that, right? Ion helps to form action verbs. Iconic, use over time for eons, ions, pantheons. And get this, Grammarly. I love the irony of Americans. Why don't you look up American and then look at the periodic table, maybe some areas we've looked over before. They're really just, it seems funny. Israel. Heaven is real. In American, ion can stand for in other news. Basically a signal, a change of topic in conversation. So to put that right in tradition or ambition or words like that kind of seems like a contradiction, huh? Well, if you're not an idiota, maybe you'll look into adrophonium, adrophonium, maybe. It's formerly sold under the brand name Tinselin. Severe muscle weakness. It helps to diagnose myasthenia gravis. It basically has to do with reversing a neuromuscular blockade. So, throne. We're just starting with throne. The TH, which would represent thorium. It's named after the god Thor. It's the element involving electricity with this, radiation, gamma. R, being multifaceted, could be involved with radius or Roentgen in physics, which is a unit of exposure. One Roentgen is equal to the amount of X or gamma radiation required to produce ions. Eons. All these words, transition, expectation, all these ion words. Really, really think about that. ESU. Per cubic centimeter. Or dry air. Standard conditions. That is one Roentgen. So again, that's a unit of X radiation, X-ray, X radiation, or gamma radiation. The amount that will produce under normal conditions of pressure, temperature, and humidity in 1 kg or 2.2 pounds. So we are being weighed down. Even these words we are saying, it would seem, are weighing us down. 2 pounds of air and an amount of positive or negative ionization is equal to 2.58 times 10 to the negative fourth power. Coulomb. It is named for the German physicist Wilhelm Conrad Rontgen. See also Rem. Oh yeah, R could also be an abbreviation for Rex or Regina, King, Queen. Coincidental as well, as we're following this throne theme. So we've gone through THR. O is most commonly associated with the number 10. Not 10, I'm sorry. With the number 7. O is commonly associated with the number 7. So this number is linked to traits of detachment, pursuit of knowledge, and deep connection. So to break down that number 7, it represents a seeker of knowledge. People with O in their name or in their birth date often have spiritual beliefs. They tend to be very clear sensed and have a very clear separation of right and wrong. They're emotionally depth. O and 7. Also oxygen. So about the correlation, the Pearson correlation coefficient. May indicate any type of association. In statistics, usually refers to the degree to which a pair of variables are linearly related. And to draw the line, I think I have arrived early at an assumption, but I don't want to make an ass out of you, so I'll let you draw your own conclusion there. So we're seeing Thor and the power of a god electrically leading into that unit of ionizing with X-ray and radiation gamma Rontgen to this Pearson correlation coefficient represented by the O, which is the 7, and a very significant number. Also the oxygen, another element here. And E represents, it used to indicate the original former or legal name of a man. Or for layman's terms, it meant originally or formerly called. In 1905, this was one of the first known uses of an E. In sense 1, which sense 1 is used to indicate the original former or legal name of a man, right? Or French, literally born. In E also representing the element neon, a colorless, odorless, monatomic gas under standard condition. It's a noble gas with an atomic number of 10 and is known for glowing reddish orange when subjected to an electric charge. Neon is the second lightest noble gas after helium, and its primary use is in creating luminous signs. Interesting, the little scientific or mathematical equation we have just in the simple word throne. Just imagine if we started to pick apart some of these other correlating themes that also share these same ions and NEs and IUMs and stuff, correlated all around the Bibles and mathematical codes and binary and Unicodes, you and I in the universe, or music. Look up that poetic style of the old Greek poets. It all starts to weave together. It's like I'm starting to be more in tune to this tune. A melody. Oh, D. Huh, that's right. That represents the fourth letter of the alphabet. But 4 is love. And love is the all. All is one, which is a Roman numeral. For also L. And this is wild. Melody. Oh wait. Psi. Scientifically, that also stands for density, distance, or derivative. Often, it's used in calculus as dx or dt. In chemistry, it's also used in the compound, the conjunction with L. Hold on. L? You mean the same one we were just discussing? That is the all? That is also the one in Roman numeral? Love frequency, all and one and one and all and 4 and I'm thirsty. D can be used to denote a vector in physics, such as in the case of electric displacement field, denoted by D. Okay, wait. No, not like pause. Wait. They say words hold weight, don't they? Archimedes had a standard principle that kind of correlates with this. It's interesting that this is a scientific direct topic, even still relevant today for something such an old teaching. It's really got to be relevant, like time. Archimedes' principle states that a body submersed or immersed in a fluid is subjected to an upwards force equal to the weight of the displacement fluid. So the as above, so below, it will be matched. This is the first condition of equilibrium. We consider that the above force, called for the force of buoyancy, is located in the center of the submerged hull, that we can center of buoyancy. Or scepter. Sounds like center, huh? Words, how they hold weight. Hold, wait, hold. The principle. The buoyancy force on an object is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced. So that simplicity and power of this idea is striking. If you want to know the buoyancy force of an object, you only need to determine the weight of the fluid displaced in that object. So imagine if they were putting nanobites or extra dense subjects that would really help capitalize on those. Capitalize again, man. This is just wild. Going back to D and L, notations for sugar. Master organic chemistry. I'm speaking in rhymes and riddles here, guys, but what I used to think was wordplay is the same way we realized we grew up once. You know what I mean? Like, shit got real. So an idea that A represents a state of change where time and space unfolds. With a theorem from Bureau, with the +1 equal 0 time, the moment of now within an individual referenced frame. See, because photons from the sun will, cast down. That's funny, forecast. Just like words and spells cast, we have these forecasts and sun rays compared to we already are aware of gamma rays and radiation being bad. But we have these things going on in our, medical system. It sounds to me like there might be a natural cure that has literally been right in front of our face. In our face. The sun doing this and raining down this photon energy, it forms at greater degree. You understand? Degree is for angles as well, and temperature, curvature, and temperature. Yeah. The forming with the sun, the greater the degree, then the greater of the freedom for entropy and disorganization, and also greater degrees of freedom from complexity and diversity of the cell life. Euler's number E represents a constant, a continuous change of growth or decay within the geometry of this process. Interesting. E. I-E. Wow. The I before the E except after C. So, Christ. I-E. So you disintegrate before Christ. And only after do you basically live eternally. Euler's number E can also represent the smoothing of a quanta into ever-changing curvature and space-time. Malleable, if you will. So, well, I still have all eyes on me in respect to 2